Welcome back to the National Post Politics Bureau, where I'm here with Christopher Nardi, National Post reporter, and we are looking into some interesting predictions markets. Now, these are the websites where people actually pay money to predict things that happen in the real world. And what
Or
we
lose
get,
money.
yeah, or more likely lose money. And what we get is a percentage based on those markets about how likely things are to happen. I think we found some good political ones, actually. We were looking at chances of an election next year.
Yeah.
And this just plummeted. We were looking at 25% on December 6th, chance of an election before June 30th. Now it's down to 13%. I'm assuming this is because Mark Carney's looking to get his majority a different way, right, Chris?
You've got to think at this point that everyone is buying it. Well, sorry, everyone but 13% of individuals are buying into this notion to both the liberal spin, but also the conservative fears that there are more floor crossers kind of lurking in the midst of the conservative caucus and waiting to join the liberals. Now we know since Michael Maugh's floor crossing on December 11th that the liberals are one person, one MP away from that razor-thin majority. And that would be a dynamic changer, obviously, right? Because there has been a lot of talk about a potential spring election, fall election maybe, and the idea behind it was always that Mark Carney would want to get that majority that he's been governing as if he had now and feeling the effects of not having.
Yeah, and not a lot was done this fall legislatively, right?
I believe one, maybe two bills, minor bills, all things considered, received royal assent, and a lot of them simply got clogged up in committee because it's one of the few places where the Liberals, well, one of the many, I guess, but places where they just don't have control, and I think underestimated the complexities of maneuvering, even with just 3 MPs down when they were elected from a majority, the complexities of getting things through committee. The Conservatives have been very effective at blocking, and sometimes the Liberals have been good at shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah, exactly. And we, looking at this, there's a new market actually on Polymarket. This is one of those sites. The prospect of a Liberal majority, and this does feel right to me. A week ago, it was at 81%. That's the all-time high. Now it's at 74%. So highly likely that the Liberals will get a majority sometime soon. You actually wrote a story last week quoting a Conservative MP saying, I assume there's 2 more. There could be even more than that. This is sort of reflective of the conventional wisdom in Ottawa right now, right?
Yes. And, when I was sat in the Conservative caucus, Pember, it was interesting because there's like this acceptance that they know that the Liberals had approached or had targeted, let's just say, a rather longer list. I've heard 12 Conservative MPs. Take that number with a grain of salt, but there's a concerted effort by the Liberals kind of slowly making passes at MPs that they suspect in the Conservative caucus are unhappy. But ultimately, I do think that there's somewhat of a resignation within Conservative caucus that there will be more. And the fact that, for example, Pierre Poilievre in interviews over the last few days has not been able to say clearly and determinatively there's no more. I guess something that he could never really know.
Yeah, well, think about Michael Maugh's, where
we didn't even know who he was.
I was driving home and it had to be explained to me who Michael Maugh's was.
And when I saw the press release, I had to look him up to make sure he wasn't already a Liberal.
In our defense, there's 343 of these guys out there.
There's so many of them, and it was a change election, right? Yeah. But I think that there is some sort of a bracing happening right now in the Conservative caucus of who will be next, and a little bit of a, MPs looking at each other and saying, hey, are you the next one? Or you were at the Christmas party. Does that mean that you're gonna floor cross or you won't? Who has it or hasn't bought their Secret Santa gift? Might be things. But I mean, I don't know. What do you think the drop, though, is from 80-odd% to 70-odd% who think that?
I think this is a brand new market and it's finding equilibrium. So I think what it is people were doing some early bets and they do tend to level off at a place. It has gotten quieter on the floor crossing front. And, we've both spoken to people who think the Liberals are keeping a few people in the wings until January. Pierre Poilievre has his leadership review in late January. If they were looking to mess with him, they could do that. But I think it's just because it's gotten quiet lately.
That's fair.
It's the holidays. The MPs have all left us. We are here alone in the Bureau. So I think we'd be remiss if we didn't do a fun one. I was poking around Polymarket, and they have a market for Katy Perry and Justin Trudeau. Will they get engaged in 2026? Right now, there's a 27% chance of getting engaged. Do you think that's high or low? Would you be taking the over or the under
I'm
on that?
smashing the under on that. I'm smashing the under. I don't think there's any world that those two are getting engaged. I mean, there may be fireworks between the two, but they're no longer teenagers. And
are these song references? Because I wouldn't know if they were.
I'll let our viewers decide if they are. But I think that they're hot for each other now. Maybe they'll get engaged, but they go through like separate lives, and they're both of a certain age where I wonder, maybe, for one of them, like marriage is very important, all that. Justin Trudeau's in his 50s. He's got 3 kids. They're getting older. I don't know how much he's like rushing towards that, quite frankly. She may be different. She might be in a different reality. She's early 40s, 40. Yeah. But also within a year, I mean, sure, when you're older, you kind of know what you want faster, but...
She's been to space. What's she going to do with Justin Trudeau?
I mean, he's funded space initiatives, I guess.
Okay. Next year, we'll come back and we'll check in on the Katy Perry, Justin Trudeau engagement. We'll also be checking in on Mark Carney and his prospective majority. Thank you, Chris, for being with us. Thank you for watching. Happy holidays, and we will see you in the new year.